Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 2 of our May 2023 release. Hey, so I am using Jaded Blossom's brand new Plants for Sale stamp set, along with their brand new vine stencil, their Build-A-Booth Garden Add Ons, their Gnome Dies Garden Add Ons, so cute, their Girl Gnome Dies, their Build-A-Booth die, their Rainbow dies, the Gnome Dies Weather Add Ons, our Stitched Oval dies, our Card Mat dies. And so here I am, and I'm just showing you a few things that I was working on. So that ink blended background was Distress Oxide ink and Rustic Wilderness on New Leaf cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And you saw me ink blend those on the release and review video. And I cut that out with our Card Mat die. And then I cut a stitched oval die out of the center. That was 3 by 4 1/8 inches. Now I cut out some clouds with Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. Now I'm layering, I grabbed some dot stripe from Doodlebug, and I'm layering some blue behind the ink blended background. So I'm just going to cut that to fit the opening. You know, nothing special. There we go. I also stamped my sentiment from the Plants for Sale stamp set onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And I cut it out with the Build-A-Booth die, the little sign die that fits all those sentiments perfectly. Kind of perfect. So I'm running this ATG tape around the edges of the opening, and then I'll pop that kind of like a powder blue sky behind that. I'm just going to add a few strips of the ATG to the center, and then I'm going to add that to my A2 sized card base, which is made out of Paper Tray Ink white cardstock, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. And now I have a piece of that same New Leaf cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 5 inches, and I'm scoring it at 3/4 of an inch, 1 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4 inches, and 4 1/4 inches, using my Teflon bone folder and a Martha Stewart scoreboard. I'm making a little pop-up box for the bottom of my card. So there we go. Now I'm going to quickly fold that all and then re-score each of those lines. So I'm just reinforcing those folds. There we go. So it folds nice and easy. And then I'll be using some score tape to stick that down on the front of my card. There we are. So this is very simple. I'm just adding some score tape to the bottom. And I believe that's 1/2 inch, and I also use 1/4 of an inch score tape. It's really strong. You could use whatever strong adhesive you'd like. You could even use glue. You'd have to hold it down though in place, so it glued nice and tight. But other than that, you can certainly use other glues. I just really like to use score tape when I need something to really stick. So I'm adding on this 1/4 of an inch strip now. Now, I just want the adhesive to go right up to the score line. So there we go. You see my little gnome in the upper right there. That was put together on the Gnome Dies Garden Assembly video, the Gnome Dies Garden Add Ons Assembly video that I did for the release this month. So, you can check it out there. The ink blending was done on the release and review video, and you can check that one out there as well. I also did assembled the Build-A-Booth Garden Add Ons on that same release and review that you can check out. So there we are. So I'm sticking the first piece down so the score line lines up with the bottom of the card, and then I'm bringing the other end of the little box together in the back, you see, and then you see how that turns into a little box. So now I'm going to add in my little clouds that were cut out of Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And I'm just popping those, and I'll do 3. So those 2 on the left are cut out using the rainbow dies, and the one on the right is cut out of the Gnome Dies Weather Add Ons. It's got a cute little chubby cloud that'll be on the right. Now this is just a very simple background for my little gnome, because the gnome is going to be in the foreground of this card quite a bit because of that pop-up box. Now if you want your you know, this card to fit in an A2 size envelope, you want to make sure that whatever you stick on the front of that box, when it's folded flat, will stay within the confines of the card. I did not. I wasn't worried about that. So this will not fit in an A2 size card envelope, I mean. So now I'm adding my sentiment, sort of, you know, keeping it centered. And then I'm going to add my cute little gnome that I put together on that Gnome Dies Garden Add Ons Assembly video. There we go. And I'm taking the 1/8 of an inch score tape, and I'm just going to have a couple of pieces on the bottom of this little gnome. There we go. And I'm going to stick that down on the top of that little popped up box. I just think it adds a lot of dimension, but it will fold flat. So, you know, it doesn't add a lot of bulk to your card. There we go. So she's super cute. And that is that. So now I went ahead and I cut out 3 of the little flowers. That's also from that same Gnome Dies Garden Add Ons. And this little plant is from that same assembly video. So you can check that out. I'm just going to pop that up with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And I'm going to add a few little flowers in this pot because why not, right? I kind of want 3 flowers on the front. So there's that. So that was cut out of the Sunny Studios Polka Dot Parade. And then my other one was cut out of the same thing. There you go. And then I'm going to add some little centers that were cut from Doodlebug yellow cardstock. It's got a texture. I'm using my Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick them up and some art glitter glue to stick them down. So now on the inside, I've got a strip of paper from the Sunny Studios Polka Dot Parade. And it's just a 1/2 inch strip, and I'm sticking that on the bottom of this card base. And you'll see that I'm going to add half of the oval. That was half of the 3 1/4 or 3 inch by 4 1/8 inch oval. I sort of cut that right in half, and I'm going to add that to the inside of this card, because why waste a nice ink blended background, right? Okay, a little bit of ATG tape was sticking out past the edge of that card, and I just used an adhesive eraser to remove it. You want that in your repertoire. There we go. And I'm just going to line this hill up on that pink stripe. Kind of fun, right? Now I'm going to add one of these little flowers to the inside. There we go. I believe that's almost the stripe. You know what? It might have been the stripe pad, but it was Sunny Studios nevertheless. Okay, so now I'm adding on this little vine that was cut from that Build-A-Booth Garden Add Ons. You can watch that on the release and review where I put that together. So there we go. Isn't that cute? So you don't have to use it on the booth. You can use it, you know, just to decorate your card. Now I'm going to add a sentiment from that brand new stamp set, Happy Gardening. I used the stamp set and the outline dies. That was cut, stamped VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink onto Nina Solar White 80 pound cardstock, and then stuck with glue on the inside. So there it is. Look at my messy desk in the background. Anyway, so this is the super cute little gnome pop-up card. And thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, Be Inspired, the Jaded Blossom store, to maybe get your hands on the Gotta Have It Now. Otherwise, you're going to have to hold on until the release day where you can get things a la carte. So thank you so much for watching, and come back tomorrow. There'll be another video. Bye, everyone.